Hey, YouTube land. This is a video about Pop Max, Pop Chain, Pop whatever, Pop Scammers. If you're watching this, you probably got introduced to Pop Max and their promised claims to return 1% daily or 0.8%, all the way down to 0.4% for a 10-day stake. Most people got in at the 360-day stake, which is returned to 1% daily return. Because why wouldn't you? That seemed like a great return. And this company just promised and promised and promised and talked about all the funding they had and the strategic investors and the brilliant traders that are using your hard-earned money to generate these yields for this 1% down to 0.4% daily return that you would get. And at the end of your stake, you would get your original investment back. Well, when they launched this, you could immediately claim your daily return and swap it for their PPT token, which has now turned into a junk token. At one point, when I got in this, it was trading around 19 cents, 20 cents, and it went all the way up to 43, 44 cents before just nosediving. I think right now we're at less than 5 cents, 0.04851 cents per PPT token. And when the PPT token started tanking, they decided to disable your ability to swap your daily earnings. So if you're in this, you know that you got daily returns in their quote stable coin of PUSD. Well, what's PUSD? Well, PUSD is just a made-up internal stable coin that the Pop people created to make you think that you would be able to swap that into whatever you needed to get your $1 equivalent of PUSD out as $1 USDT, right? So you would stake with USDT. So you put in real US dollar value. So let's say you put in $10,000 of USDT. Well, you would earn $100 a day. Not bad, right? And for a little while, you could exchange that for, or you could exchange your PUSD for whatever equivalent of that amount in PPT. So, when I got in, it was 20 cents. When I started seeing it go down, it was up to 43 cents. Well, all of a sudden, they disabled your ability to swap for PPT. And they started this immediately after hosting one of their quarterly global events. They flew in 1,200 people from around the world, mostly Asians, 1,200 people to Bali, not a cheap place to bring people, rented a resort, entice people to stake at least $10,000 for an additional 0.8% for 30 days. So let's say you staked $10,000 USDT for 360 days. If you did it during this promo, they would add another 0.8%. You would earn 1.8% daily on your $10,000, which is a pretty incredible return, right? Well, immediately after they left the Bali event, in which they gave away over $1 million of rewards, including not one, but a surprise second Mercedes-Benz. I don't actually believe they gave these Rolexes and Apple computers and Mercedes away, because I haven't seen any proof of anyone after that event saying, hey, I'm enjoying my Mercedes-Benz or my 10 Rolex watches or my 20 MacBook Pros. They immediately shut down the ability for you to swipe your daily rewards. And lo and behold, they launched a new project called Luma Protocol. Well, Luma offers the same promised returns, 0.5 to 1% daily. But in order to invest in Luma, you must put in and stake POP tokens. Well, what the heck are POP tokens? POP tokens are the underlying asset behind the new chain that they launched called Pop Chain. So if you are on Base Network, the underlying gas currency is ETH. If you're in BSC, the underlying chain asset that you have to use for gas fees is BNB, right? Well, Pop Chain is developed by the same people behind Pop Max, Pop Chain, Pop X, Pop whatever. Well, how do you get Pop tokens? Oh, well, you have to take your PUSD you've now earned in Pop Max, which is worthless otherwise, and you can go to Nivex exchange, which is a new Vietnamese Singaporean exchange just launched last November, December, and was supposedly a large investor in Pop Max as well. Surprise, surprise. And the only thing you can do with your daily return in Pop Max PUSD is to buy hash power mining ability in Nivex at a rate of $10 PUSD for 0.1 value of this Pop Chain mining capability. So just to give you an idea, as of today is October 6, 2025, I know someone that has put $73,000 of PUSD, which a month and a half ago they could have exchanged for $73,000 of USDT, real currency. But instead, the only choice they have is to put $73,000, 75, whatever that amount, $73,000 of PUSD into this Pop hash mining protocol project. And guess how much Pop tokens that generated for them today? 45 Pop tokens. And you know what Pop tokens are selling for right now? $1.50. So you take your 45 times $1.50, $67 on their $73,000 investment. $67.50. How long is that going to take them to recruit? Well, you take your $73,000 divided by $67.50, 1,081 days divided by 365 days. It'll take them 2.96, so basically 3 years to get back their investment. 3 years. These people are scammers. If you look up anything regarding Magnus Larson, Nick, or Pony, these guys apparently don't have last names. They're running the Pop enterprise. And then Simon Hardy, who is the exchange owner, or the CEO at least, of Nivex, you can see they all have a history of scamming people, and they use Pop Max to generate tens and tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, to fund Nivex the exchange and get this Pop Chain and Luma protocol up and going. Now, many of you, I would guess a lot of you, are probably under Sal Khan, Khan Khan, not C-O-N, not like a con man, which he is. So Sal Khan man, who was at one point boasting and bragging about his $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a day he was making off your referrals, and mine as well. He is now doing nothing but pitching Luma protocol because he had accumulated so much wealth, and he still makes so much money off the PUSD earnings that he can turn his hundreds of thousands of dollars of PUSD into Pop tokens, which then goes into Luma to complete this scam circle and scam all of us. So if you go to his Gifting Tribe Facebook page or his Telegram pages, it's nothing but talking about Luma and Magnus, who only does updates he used to do weekly, quote, leadership updates, but now only does updates released through random members of the community, people you'd never even heard of, who have really no say or should be releasing official company material is being released to these groups via Magnus, or through, supposedly through Magnus. And all Magnus does is talk about patience. Good things come to those who wait. In my stupid Swedish accent. When in reality, he is part of the scam machine. He's supposedly a chief marketing officer. He does nothing to actually market this company. The only time you ever see him is at these quarterly international events. And occasionally in these, quote, weekly leadership updates. But outside of that, he does nothing from a marketing standpoint. And he's clearly now part of this Luma protocol scam machine, which is what they've been setting us all up for from day one, to scam us out of our probably hundreds of millions of dollars. And they've scammed us. Well, what can we do? Well, at the moment, nothing. But there is a movement. There's people gathering. There's people talking outside of their global group. There's people mobilizing together. And if the PopMax founders, and if Magnus, and if Sal, and Simon Hardy, and Nick and Pony, and Komel, don't even start on Komel, who's not actually the CEO. She only shows up at the quarterly international events. If you look her up on LinkedIn, this is literally her only, quote, experience. She has no real world experience. She's someone they paid to front being the CEO of this organization that has nothing but scam people. But more things are coming from this. I'm going to do more updates. I'm going to keep these people accountable, because we gave them our hard-earned money on a promise to return at least our initial investment. Okay, the project went south, or you raised enough money to launch this other scam project. We're not getting our interest, which is our 1% or 0.4, or whatever that you staked. Okay, whatever. Give us our initial investment back, or there will be hell to pay. That is for certain. Give us our initial investment back. Don't give it to us in PUSD or any of these other crap value stable coins that can only be traded in one exchange, but only traded for your next scam project. Do that, make the investors whole, and we'll go on our way. If you don't do that, it's not going to be good. We're watching. We're not going away. We're not just going to sweep this under the rug and say, you know what, no big deal. I'll just get into your next scam project. No, that's not happening. Give us what you took from us, or else game on. It's on. More videos coming.